So Action SA has been asking plenty of questions about how many flights, travels, trips, the cost, who went along, of all 34 cabinet members for both domestic and international trips, including how many staff they've taken along and how much it has cost the South African taxpayer. So we live in a reality of a debt burden. We have cuts to public services, but some cabinet members are showing unrestrained international travel spending. Who are the worst performers?
Notably, a story came out a few weeks ago in which Paul Mashatile had exorbitant costs, where he had spent so much taxpayer money and people were just questioning why he had been going on all these trips. I mean, he had spent 2 million rand in just a 5-night stay in London. His wife accompanied him on all the trips. Gaten McKenzie notably has taken 11 international trips, averaging about 1 trip a month in this last year of the GNU. And the big question comes in is when we're looking at how much ministers are spending, particularly, I mean, they fly business class, their staff go with them. It's quite extensive to have members of government travel abroad. And look, there are elements of safety involved when we look at, you know, if you need to take an overnight flight and you need to immediately get off that flight and go to a meeting, is it a good idea if you sit in economy? That is also a point of contention. But the idea that we are looking at all these regressive financial policies to put on the South African taxpayer, but the ministers in themselves are not willing to compromise on certain areas. Like, I mean, I strongly believe your spouse does not need to go with you on any of these trips. I think that the number of staff members, like at most, just the spokesperson needs to go, or maybe the chief of staff. There is no reason that the chief of staff, the spokesperson, the head of stakeholder relations, not everyone needs to go on an international trip. And I think, I don't know, how do you feel? Do you think ministers should fly business class?
If ministers are doing work, if ministers are doing research, if ministers are actually going through documents, let's be honest, you have traveled economy, I have traveled economy. Yeah. It's cattle class. You can do very, very little besides look at the screen of entertainment. If there is something that tells me that in this 9 to 11 hour flight between South Africa and Europe, that a minister is actually using that time to do their job, to do work, then maybe I don't mind the flexibility that a more roomier space does afford.
What is wrong with premium economy? Because that's, you get more legroom, you get to like sit in front, you can still work. I don't know, when I look at the difference between what it would cost to fly economy versus what it costs to fly business.
150,000 difference between an economy seat and a business class seat.
And to me, I can't, I mean, when you look at someone like Gaten McKenzie, who's taking 11 international trips, I can't justify it.
How comfortable should it be for a minister or a deputy president to get off a flight, a long haul flight, and hit the ground running to do work immediately, to have meetings immediately, to be fresh as a daisy, to conduct the business of state as soon as they land?
I think President flies on the private presidential plane.
Not when you went to the G7.
Yeah, true. He didn't do that.
He flew commercial.
He did fly
and
commercial.
What was interesting, one hand we're like, oh my gosh, we have ministers who are going on plenty of trips. Oh my gosh, we have this president who is out of the country because of our commitments with G20 so frequently. But at the same time, oh my gosh, the president flies commercial? Yeah. I thought we had a jet, so I don't necessarily.
The jet was under repair at that time.
Sometimes I don't know what the South African public wants. But on my question, if a minister is going to show that they're working while in the flight, if they're going to hit the ground running and not having to have a day to recover because of jet lag, then maybe I'm okay with having a little bit more comfort and legroom in a business class flight.